While the First Blackfyre Rebellion was of course a bloody affair, filled with battles big and small, the balance of power shifting after each, but in the end it would all come down to a single battle, and one that would shape the future of Westeros, and define not just House Targaryen and Blackfyre, but houses great and small for the next century. The First Blackfyre Rebellion ended at the Redgrass field, nigh on 1 year after the onset of the war. Some scholars have written of the boldness and bravery of the men who fought alongside Daemon Blackfyre, while others of their treason against their true king, Daeron II. But the truth of the matter is, for all the valour in the field of battle and their enmity against King Daeron, their cause was lost. The two armies collided on an unnamed field. For the Black Dragons, Lord Costane was on the left of Daemon's host, while Lord Shawnee was on the right, with Aegor Rivers, who was known as Bittersteel. Lord Leo Tyrell, one of Daeron's most powerful and influential supporters, did not arrive in time for this decisive battle. Historical records and tales of the many present at the battle state that Daemon was unstoppable that day, first cutting Lord Donald Arryn's vanguard to pieces, slaying Will Waynwood and the Knight of Ninestar, before coming upon Sir Gwayne Corbray of the Kingsguard. A famous fight took place between the two, with Valyrian steel swords, with Daemon wielding Blackfyre, the Sword of Kings, and Gwayne using the famous Lady Forlorn. Daemon managed to severely injure his opponent, leaving him blind and bleeding, but Daemon paused to make sure no more injury came to Sir Gwayne, ordering Red Tusk to carry Gwayne back to the Maester in the rear. By that time, Daemon's half-brother, Brynden Rivers, known as Bloodraven, and his private guard, the Raven's Teeth, crested the Weeping Ridge, gaining the high ground from where he showered Daemon's position with arrows. Bloodraven had spotted Daemon's banner and slew the elder of Daemon's twin sons, Aegon. Knowing that Daemon would never leave his son on the field, he then pierced Daemon with 7 arrows, the last killing him. The younger twin, Aemon, picked up the Sword of Kings, Blackfyre, when his father fell. Despite the boy's bravery trying to fight on, he too was slain by Brynden Rivers. In many battles, the death of your general, your chosen king, would cause your ranks to rout. But this was not the case with the devout supporters of Daemon Blackfyre. His death was followed by Aegor Rivers, Bittersteel, his half-brother, and his mad charge, with the Sword of Kings Blackfyre firm in hand, as he attempted to rally Daemon's forces. Bittersteel met with Bloodraven, his long-term rival, in the midst of the charge, and a mighty duel of legend ensued. Men who witnessed it spoke of the ferocity of the duel. It ultimately left Bloodraven blinded in one eye and sent Aegor Rivers fleeing, still with Blackfyre in hand. But the battle came to an end when Prince Baelor Breakspear appeared with a host of Stormlanders and Dornishmen, men from 2 regions of Westeros who for the last 1,000 years had been on opposite sides of the battlefield, now on the same. Allied with each other, they fell on the rebels from the rear, causing massive damage, while the young Prince Maekar Targaryen rallied what remained of Lord Arryn's vanguard and made an impactable anvil against which the rebels were hammered and destroyed. A Lord Shawnee died from his wounds, while Lord Ambrose Butterwell lost 2 sons who fought on opposite sides of the rebellion. Sir Buford Bulwer allegedly killed 40 men during the battle. Only some of the numerous tales and legends from the Battle of the Redgrass Field to mark the pages of history books and in the songs of singers. It is suggested that the Redgrass Field was actually quite a close affair, and if Daemon had not stopped to ensure Sir Gwayne was sent to a maester, he might have broken Maekar's left before Bloodraven had managed to gain the ridge, and before Baelor Breakspear arrived. Then, with Bloodraven slain and the road to King's Landing open, Daemon would have had little opposition, and we may very well now have a Blackfyre king. With that, the Battle of the Redgrass Field and the First Blackfyre Rebellion came to its bloody end. Depending on your point of view, and if you supported the Black Dragons or the Red, an estimated 10,000 men had died in Daemon Blackfyre's attempt to overthrow his brother and claim the Iron Throne. But while 10,000 died, many more were wounded and maimed, and that does not include the countless small folk who also lost their lives, caught in the middle of the conflict. King Daeron, at the start of his reign, had worked to keep the peace Baelor the Blessed had forged. It had been shattered, though arguably through no fault of his own, save perhaps too much mercy for his half-brother, with some critics of the king believing Daeron could have done more sooner to prevent Daemon from rebelling, as warning signs were present for many years. In the aftermath, King Daeron showed a sternness that few expected, with many even close to him who felt it was beyond his personality. Many lords and knights who had supported the Black Dragons of Daemon Blackfyre had lands and seats and their privileges stripped from them, and were forced to give over hostages. Daeron felt that he had trusted them, and that trust was now broken and could never return. He had done all he could to rule justly, and still they turned against him. Daemon Blackfyre's surviving sons, Daemon, Haegon and Aenys, fled Westeros to Tyrosh, their mother's homeland, and with them went Daemon Blackfyre's most loyal and fierce supporter, Brynden Rivers, Bittersteel, who would go on to form the famous Southsword Company, the Golden Company. But Bittersteel would remain a thorn in the side of House Targaryen for years to come, as the realm would continue to be troubled by the claims of Blackfyre claimants to the Iron Throne for more than 4 generations.